A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
Welcome into the Sportsocracy. Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene with you as always at the Sportsocracy on all the social medias. Be sure to like it, share it, and follow it. We are live from the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different, and you can go to hell. All right, sorry about that. That was my phone.
We just have it. That's all these screens really are.
Day.
We're just watching ourselves.
Yeah, pretty much. First day back from vacation for Jeremy. Are you all well rested? You ready to go?
Oh, it was a fantastic vacation. It didn't last long enough, and I came back to snow.
Came back to snow?
I left the ocean that was gorgeous for snow. Mm-hmm. I don't like snow. I don't like cold. This is bullshit.
Came back to shitty weather and 6 more days. Super Bowl week. We're so ready and raring to go.
I didn't even think about that.
6 more days. Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl 55.
Insufferable, Tank Spencer.
It's going to get worse and worse every day. But, of course, we will be your stop for all of the Super Bowl-related news. And, of course, everything going on in the NFL, because we've got the quarterback carousel and the dominoes have began to fall.
It started. We did a thing. We have a thing that happened.
Just as, I was wrapping up the show on Friday saying there's no way that the Los Angeles Rams can move on from Jared Goff, so I don't understand why they keep poking the bear and, going back to we're going to have a quarterback competition with John Wolford and all this kind of stuff. Sean McVay doing his quarterback a service. Well, he found a way to get him out of town.
Yeah, after I found out why, had I known that, I would have been screaming, well, he ain't coming back here. I can't tell you where he's going to play, but he will not be with the Rams.
Yeah, apparently, I don't know what the timeline is on this.
It was 3 weeks ago. I can tell you what it was.
It was 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
It was when they started playing John Wolford?
Yeah, it was. It was apparently right around the time there started being scuttlebutt of Jared Goff no longer being quarterback of the Rams.
Yeah, apparently there was a players-only text thread or something going on, and Jared Goff said in it, I would pipe Sean McVay's girl.
And one of the players told him!
Of course they did, and I bet it was John Wolford. John Wolford ran and told the teacher, Jared Goff wants to bang your girlfriend.
Jared Goff wants to nail your girl.
I mean, but let's be honest, who doesn't? I mean, she is a Ukrainian model, so...
I mean, I'm going to be honest. Coffee's for closers, Sean McVay takes his for 2 creeps.
Yes, he does. But as soon as that got out that old Jared Goff wanted to pipe the queen, it's over.
There's something about us gingies that we like our coffee cold. It's nice.
What?
I'm a ginger. I'm a closer. Sean McVay's a ginger. He's a closer. Birds of a feather flock together.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Meet anybody special on your vacation? That's a story better left for off the air.
Yeah, one of these days I'm going to wind up with a reality show and no one's going to believe it.
Nope.
Nobody.
Nope.
Except for the people that know my wife and I. They'll go, yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, we get it.
We get it.
Well, my big question from the fallout of the trade of Matt Stafford going to the LA Rams. Yeah, we put out the helmets here this morning, so front and center. But with Matt Stafford going to the LA Rams for two first-round draft picks and a third. Mm-hmm. They got a third this year, a first the next year, and a first the next year for Jared Goff. Where does this put the price for Deshaun Watson?
They mean absolutely nothing to each other.
Really?
No. This is, and I've gotten this question more times than I could believe. You do understand Jared Goff was a net negative, right?
Yep.
Like they had to pay for them to take him. They had offers of ones, and they went, no. Rams said, we want Stafford. Cool. It's going to cost you 1 and a 3 for us to take Jared Goff and his albatross contract. The thing that blows my mind is that it only took that much. They got a 1 for Matthew Stafford. The price for Deshaun Watson is exactly what it always was.
They got 2.
It has not changed. They got, listen to what I said.
Okay.
They got 1 for Matthew Stafford. They got 1. They gave up a 1 and a 3 for you to take Jared Goff.
Ah,
That 1 was what they got for Matthew Stafford.
got you.
The rest of it was, here, you take this headache that wants to bang our coach's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And is vocal about it. That part's really important. It's the and is vocal about it.
But with the trade, Detroit takes on $100 million and a 4-year contract extension that hadn't even begun for the Rams. I didn't realize that.
No, it doesn't start until this year.
That extension didn't begin or is going to begin this year.
It's the worst contract in the NFL. And the sheer fact that the Lions were willing to take it on is mind-boggling to
Is
me.
it, though? Is it really that mind-boggling? That
They can't get out of that for 3 years.
Right, but if any team was going to do it, it'd be the Detroit Lions, right?
I wouldn't think a CFL team would take that contract on. Because it's the worst
more than
deal.
they make in a
It's
year.
possibly the worst deal in sports. Entirely possible.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
pretty much. I don't understand. I mean, I get it from the Rams standpoint, obviously. That was a win for them to be able to bring in a quarterback who's going to keep them competitive for the next year or for the next 3 years. No, the Rams.
Oh.
The Lions, on the other hand, I mean, you're doing a complete rebuild, and
And hey, you
That's
have a
a
guy
whole
that can actually
shitload.
snap a football. Cool. That's the best I can give you for this.
well, Jared Goff, he was a quarterback in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, and so they're hoping that maybe they hit on something.
Brad Holmes came from the Rams, so he knows Jared Goff pretty well. I still don't get it. I have watched Jared Goff. I've watched tape for 2 years, and I swear to you, he is a below-average NFL quarterback that's paid like a top 5 guy. I didn't think there was a team in the NFL that would look at this deal and go, "Yeah, there's." I thought it would take 3 1s for anybody to take that deal. I really did.
Yeah,
And this was, I mean, let's call this what it is. This was the Lions looking at Matthew Stafford going, "Where do you want to go?" And we will figure out a way to make it happen. You have been a good little soldier. You have not bitched about the fact that we have not been able to keep anybody here. We're getting ready to lose Kenny Galladay for nothing. We're going to lose Marvin Jones. And this is a complete teardown. Name 3 players on that team that you really think are building block players.
on the Lions,
Uh-huh.
Swift, and that's about it.
DeAndre Swift.
You
yeah.
say you got a running back. Hot. Oh, by the way, don't forget, you have a top 5 pick from last year, and neither one of you said him.
Jeff Okudah. Yeah,
First of all, because he was terrible. But that's kind of my point. This team is so bad, and it needs so. Here's what I think, and this will be spicy sports take that you haven't heard before.
okay.
I don't think the Lions are taking quarterback. I keep seeing mock drafts that put quarterbacks with the Lions. I don't think they're doing that. Here's why. I think they're going to put Jared Goff out there as the sacrificial lamb for a year. Do you remember when Dan Campbell got hired and I said, there's something weird about this deal?
Yep.
Do you remember what it was?
No.
He got 6 years.
Yep.
That is insane for a coach, especially a first-time coach. Really, I understand he was an interim. I don't really care. This is his first time having his own team. And you got a 6-year deal? That's insane. Rob Salah got 4. And he was the best coach on the market by a mile. What that told me was, and they went to get Brad Holmes, who was a very well thought of guy to be their GM. What that told me is this is a long run play. This is I can't believe I'm going to say the tank was right my first day back. Sam Howell will be a Detroit Lion.
Yeah.
They will be the worst team in the NFL next year. And if you don't believe me, tell me the team that's going to be even in the ballpark of as bad as they are.
Yep.
Bearing in mind, they're going to lose Kenny Galladay for nothing. Because they're not going to franchise him. That would be stupid. You're going to lose Marvin Jones. You're going to lose... And now you're stuck with all these Patriots defensive players. And not that scheme.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Lions are a disaster. And it's not going to get better anytime soon.
But is that not kind of the point?
It's 100% the point.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to
But
make sure we're all on the same page here.
And that's where I was headed with this. is the Lions are doing exactly what there is no purpose in being mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping Matthew Stafford for another year and the dead cap and all this other shit. Who cares? It doesn't matter. So you'll come out and be 6-10. You still won't be able to, because next year's a one quarterback class. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Right.
And if you say Keaton Slovis, I'm gonna laugh at you. You're gonna see what he is this year when he lost all of his targets.
Mm-hmm.
So the Lions did exactly what I tell teams to do regularly. If you're gonna be bad, be bad.
Yep.
Be god awful. Be horrendous, and they're gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
They may be the first team ever to go 0-16 twice.
Right.
And I firmly believe that.
They've got Jared Goff for this year. It would be untenable to be able to get out from under him for the next year because it's a $33 million cap hit.
Now you got to remember the cap number moves when they trade him because all the guaranteed money's on the Rams, not on the Lions. The question is, how was this deal worded? And I don't know the answer to that.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't. Not every team makes their shit really readily available. I have not seen how this deal was built.
Okay.
Obviously, the Rams are going to try to get out of as much of it as they can.
Right.
The guaranteed money, there's nothing you can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
If you guaranteed it at the time of signing, you were responsible for it. So, David Smith also pointed out, and I would be remiss if I didn't say this, Matthew Stafford said, I will accept a trade to any team in the NFL except the New England Patriots.
Yep.
What does that tell you?
It tells me that he is done living under a Bill Belichick type regime.
It tells you that people take a pay cut to play for Bill. No, the fuck they don't. They took a pay cut to play with Tom.
Yes.
There's a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, and this is a grander scale, I think people are starting to understand what I've been saying about Bill Belichick for 20 years. Great quarterbacks make coaches look real smart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you take away Tom, all of a sudden he's a mediocre to below average coach who's a pain in the ass and now has the entitlement. He's like a really hot girl that gets really big and she still thinks she's hot. She's not. That's Bill Belichick in a nutshell.
Okay.
That's where he's at.
I don't know. I mean, I get it. Why would you want to play for the New England Patriots? They don't have any weapons, and do you really want? Is that really the way you want to spend the final 2 years?
No.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming Matt Stafford is probably close to the end, but I mean, he is. What is he? 32?
Stafford's 33.
33. So he's 33 years old.
I do have to say,
he's probably got 5 years, 6 years left in him, but still, I mean, is that the way you want to spend your next couple of years in the waning moments of your career, trying to make the New England Patriots, something? And you just spent 3 years of your career under Pat Matricia. I'm not signing up to do that again.
And that's the thing.
Guess where he went?
That's the thing.
He went back to New England.
And David Smith said in the comments, he is a Patriots fan, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to win. That team's not going to win.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point. If Bill was this great tactician, he'd find a way. But here's the thing. Nobody wants to play for him. You know why? Because he's a dick.
Yep.
And it's real. It's all fun and games, and old Bill and his, we're on to Kansas City. That's a fun little game when you have the greatest quarterback that ever lived. Not so much fun when you have Cam Newton and Jared Stidham.
Right.
By the way, I do need to say something to our resident Rams fan because I have seen him commenting on my stuff over the weekend. Alexander is a Rams fan.
Okay.
I do have to say this just to make sure that it's all hunky-dunky. You do realize Matthew Stafford is 10 times the quarterback Jared Goff is, and it's not close.
Yes.
And here's the part nobody's talking about. He's going to make real good use of Van Jefferson, who's going to be your three. Because you're going to have Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp in the slot, and now you've got fast little Van Jefferson on the outside. And now you've got one of the biggest arms in the NFL to throw to him. You don't have to scheme around Jared Goff and his arm limitations and the fact that, he's just really accurate. Robert Woods woke up 6 to midnight. I promise you. When he woke up and saw that Matthew Stafford was his new quarterback,
right.
He went, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I can't wait for the season to start. I can't wait for it to get here. And that's exactly what every Rams fan should be doing right now. Oh, it cost us 2-1. Cool. The highest one of those has been 25. You mark my words. With Matthew Stafford and the pieces that they have that they are, for lack of a better word, stuck with, because nothing you can do with Jalen Ramsey, nothing you can do with Aaron Donald.
Right.
Let's say you're pressed up against it. And I saw somebody say, well, what do we do with the offensive line? draft them. I can name you 5 from the Senior Bowl. We're going to do that later this week. By the way, the Miners kid from Wisconsin Whitewater, I want somebody to take him in the first round. It's not going to happen, but I want it to happen. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's the kid who had his big gut exposed the whole time and then broke his hand snapping a football and screamed at Brian Flores to let him play.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want that guy on my team right now. I don't even know shit else about him. I have not watched a tenth of a second of tape on that kid. I didn't know he was in the world until he did that interview on NFL Network. Alexander said, with what draft picks? The later ones.
Yeah.
Your team has done an unbelievable job, as Bill Walton would say, of using those picks. You're getting ready to have a shitload of compensatory picks because you're going to lose John Johnson for nothing. And he's worth a third-round pick.
I think any Rams fan should love the way that this team has been put together. I mean, you're going out and you're taking first-round draft picks who you may hit on them, you may not, but you're trading them for guaranteed talent. You've done it time and time and time again.
Right.
And the other thing I will tell you about having my little ginger brother as your head coach, he's real damn smart. And he's going to find ways to schematically take the advantage of Matthew Stafford. Here's the thing about, how do we protect Matthew Stafford? And this is something that Rams fans haven't seen because you had Jared Goff. When you have an arm like Matthew Stafford, you can't blitz him. You can't because you're too vulnerable. And if you don't get home, it's 80 the other way.
Yeah.
And see, nobody knows this because nobody gave a rat's ass about the Lions. And that's the disservice the Lions have done. And I'll be honest with you, good on Brad. I know very little about Brad Holmes. I've never spoken to the man in my life. I have every person I know that has says he's one of the most upstanding individuals in the NFL. And his handling of this deal with Stafford proved it. If you're a free agent, you have to be looking at Dan Campbell and Holmes going, that's an organization that's a structure I could get down with. Because Matt Stafford was 11 years the good soldier, lost Calvin Johnson probably 8 years too early because of the organization. And this guy comes in and his first act is, I want to give you a chance to win a Super Bowl, and I know you're not going to do it here. So where do you want to go? Because, by the way, there were teams that offered more than the Rams did.
Were there?
Yeah. If you take out the Jared Goff element, nobody offered 2 1s and a 3 with, not an albatross contract. But if you take what it actually cost to get them to take Goff, then yeah, there are teams that offered more than that.
Right.
There are teams that offered more than a 1 for Matthew Stafford. As well they should have. This makes the Rams instantaneously the favorite in the West, to me. Because you took a team that was already really good defensively and had a lot of weapons, and you just gave them a hell of a trigger guy. And you gave them a hell of a trigger guy that has this one little trick that not a lot of quarterbacks do.
What's that?
He hits the deep ball better than anybody in the NFL.
Damn
Yes,
right.
he does.
Robert Woods and Van Jefferson both just went, oh boy. And you've got dump off tight ends and Higbee and Gerald Everett. You got a budgeting running back in Cam Akers. There's a lot to be excited about if you're the LA Rams. There's a lot to be excited about. Just my partner here can verify this. What running back was the highest on last year? Going into the draft process.
Cam Akers.
It wasn't close. And you got him behind 4 running backs that all had massive problems. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is built like a bowling ball. DeAndre Swift can't catch. Jonathan Taylor has never really done that. I mean, he had some good games. He's also got some med issues. So you ask, how are you going to rebuild it? Because you're one of the smartest franchises in the NFL. And you draft really, really, really well.
Yeah. And the fact that Matt Stafford was in Detroit forever is the reason people doubt Matt Stafford. He's been around a bad organization his whole life. I mean, I get it. I understand. He's never won a playoff game, whatever. What did he have to work with? I mean, yeah, he had Megatron. Okay.
For an hour.
What else did that team have? And year in and year out, this is a guy who is in the top 12, if not some years, top 5 in every passing stat you can think of. This is a good quarterback. You should be excited about this. It's a marked improvement over Jared Goff.
Jared Goff.
And I really have enjoyed, those on social media who have been sharing all of the Matt Stafford's, best plays since he's in Detroit. And it gives you a look at what he can do. And then remember, he was on a mediocre team.
That was run into the ground.
And now you have him on one of the top 5 teams, top 6 teams in the NFL going into next year. Mm-hmm. This guy is everybody says, oh, he's not a winner. I disagree. Fully disagree that he's not a winner.
I love the he's not a winner talk. I love that. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of quarterbacks that have been winners on the most dysfunctional organized in their sport.
Mm-hmm. And everybody, it wasn't just obviously the Rams. It obviously wasn't just the Patriots. There were a whole lot of teams that were interested. Hold
on. And Alex Sanders is firing weapons. Roy Williams was the first 2 years that he was in the league, if not less than that. Brandon Pettigrew was god-awful. I had a 4th round grade on him. They took him the 1st round. Golden Tate, I didn't think was a draftable receiver because he couldn't separate in college. And Kenny Galladay. Yeah, he turned Kenny Galladay into one of the top 10 receivers in the league. Mm-hmm. This is a guy that came out of fucking nowhere. Oh, and T.J. Hawkinson. Yeah, look at the stats. He was a top 5 tight end last year. Mm-hmm. He doesn't do things that fantasy football players like. Whoop-de-doo. He's still one of the top 5 all-around tight ends in the league. Mm-hmm. And guess what? He ain't going to be that good with Jared Goff. I promise you. Yeah. The underselling on Matthew Stafford is borderline comical to me.
Yeah.
And it's because nobody sees it. It's because there's about 8 teams in the NFL that people just don't watch. Mm-hmm. Nobody watches the Lions. Nobody watches the Jaguars.
Right.
And you get a guy like Matthew Stafford that is tremendously well respected around the NFL. There's a reason that you've heard one big vocal detractor of this, and it was Stephen A. Smith.
What did he say?
That he's not markedly better than Jared Goff. Which is, you know what that screams to me? Stephen A. Smith has not watched a second of film in his fucking life. No. Because that's literally what it would take for you to go, oh, these 2 quarterbacks are not the same.
Right.
There is a difference here. You have to scheme around one, and this one has not really had a scheme in 11 years mm-hmm. and has been a Pro Bowler. Mm-hmm. That's the other part of this. You have to look at the fact that Matthew Stafford has not had shit in the way of scheme. He's never had a Sean McVay. He had Darrell Bevell, who's bounced around the NFL for 20 years.
Yeah.
That's his offensive guru. Jim Caldwell. Mm-hmm. Well, I shouldn't have done that. Too fresh off a beach trip.
Should
have done that.
We'll call up some dinosaurs on Monday.
Should not have done that.
Yikes.
You look like you might call them dinosaurs.
But you had apparently the Bears and the Broncos and the Panthers also in full press mode to try to get Matt Stafford. Washington was another one.
I've had several in the comments ask me, what does Washington do now that Stafford's out? I'll tell you what I think they do. I think they find a way to get Zach Wilson.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's exactly what I think. Here's the thing. There were like 5 facets of this carousel that I felt pretty good about. Jimmy Garoppolo is the starting quarterback of the New England Patriots next year.
Yeah.
I feel very strongly in that. Mm-hmm. I feel very strongly that the starting quarterback of the New York Jets is either Sam Darnold or Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
It's one or the other. Because Justin Fields and Zach Wilson are not better than Sam Darnold.
Right.
Now, what does Washington do? I think you have to do something. Before I say this, did you happen to hear what Jay Gruden said in Washington over the weekend?
No.
Oh yeah.
He said we did all of the work in Washington, and Daniel Snyder would step off his yacht, not knowing shit, and make the pick for us. That's not good.
Yeah.
And you feel, looking at that front office structure now and Ron Rivera, that they're not going to allow that. Ron Rivera wouldn't be there if it was as simple as Daniel Snyder steps off his yacht and I don't care what you think, I'm going to do what I want.
Right.
Yeah.
He didn't respect Jay Gruden. I think he respects Ron Rivera. Mm-hmm. And I think Ron Rivera knows. There's not many quarterbacks that are out there. There's going to be a lot of rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of great quarterbacks out there. There's a lot of Tyrod Taylors and Jimmy Garoppolos and I mean, I could keep doing this.
Right.
Of who goes where. There's not a win now quarterback out there other than Deshaun Watson. The problem is that Washington has so many holes that if you give up what it takes to get Deshaun Watson, you don't have the ammo. That's the reason I said it's the Dolphins and the Jets. The Dolphins and the Jets have, and I don't remember who said this, it was somebody from NFL Network. The Dolphins and Jets, their picks in the top 3 equate to 2.5 first rounders in the top 16.
Right.
I've said this more than once. The package from the Jets is 2, Seattle's 1 next year, and Sam Darnold. That's what it costs. Houston, if you don't like it, tough shit. That's what you're going to get. And I've heard, what does it cost now that we've seen what it costs for Stafford? Exactly what it thought. As a matter of fact, I'll go the other way. It's going to cost less than you think it will. Because the market has bared that out. This is not a seller's market for quarterbacks because you have 4,000 teams that need them. And you know what all those teams have in common? They're not a quarterback away from being competitive. They're not a quarterback away from being a Super Bowl team. It's how I should say that.
Okay.
There's not a team out there that can afford to bring in Deshaun Watson that is Tampa Bay last year, that had one quarterback that threw 30 interceptions, and other than that, they've got good weapons.
Right.
There's not one of those. I mean, who is that team?
There's not one.
Exactly. Washington trades all of this.
I mean, San Francisco. I would put San Francisco in that category. Because I can't get away from Deshaun Watson throwing to those receivers, all those weapons with Kittle and Ayuk and
Here's the thing.
Samuel.
With where San Francisco picks, it'd take 4 ones. You don't have and 4 ones kills you, crushes you.
Okay.
You're paying $30 million to Deshaun Watson. You can't afford it. Steve Steele said Indianapolis, they're not trading in the division. That would be career suicide. And basically every guy attached to the Houston Texans right now is on life support anyway.
Yep.
To me, there are 2 landing spots for Deshaun Watson, and I think he's the starting quarterback of one of them next year, and they're both in the NFC East.
Miami and New York.
Yeah, and I firmly believe that here's what I think it comes down to. Do they believe in Tua more, or do they believe in Sam Darnold more? Because here's the thing, you really think about Houston, all right? Let's say they get 2 this year, and Sam Darnold. Well, 2 could be Devontae Smith. So how do you feel about Sam Darnold behind what is a decent offensive line? You got a great left tackle with Brandon Cooks and Devontae Smith and Will Fuller if you re-sign him.
It's not horrible.
Do you feel better about that, or do you feel better about it with Tua? And with Tua, you may not get Devontae Smith.
Right.
It's the reason I've said it's been the Jets the whole time.
Right.
That's the team that makes the most sense. There's a reason you've heard the most talk about that. Washington was always comical to me. They pick at 19.
Right.
Oh, you think it's going to be good enough for Houston? Really? No. Unless you're going to come off 5 of them, which then you can't build a team around it.
I've always thought the Redskins weren't in the haven't done that in a while. The football team were not in the running for Deshaun Watson because of that. Because there's not a path. I mean, unless they just want to say we'll give you 5 ones.
Yeah. I don't think
the best thing that they could do.
And I don't think a team's doing that.
If I was San Francisco, I would sincerely think about it.
Here's what you have to think about.
The way John Lynch builds that team, he doesn't
How's he
need
build that team?
He doesn't need the first round of picks.
What you just said is bullshit.
Okay.
Because think about how he built that team. Who are the 5 best players on the team? The 5 best players that John Lynch has ever drafted. DeForest Buckner was one of them.
Right.
Yeah, he's first round pick.
Right.
Joey Bosa is one of them. Or Nick Bosa, excuse me. God, fuck. Nick Bosa.
Right.
He's one of them. Oh, he was first round pick.
Right.
He's had a bajillion first round picks, and the only one that he really missed on was Solomon Thomas. Eric Armstead's been good. And that's how he built his team. What player has he drafted that was really a diamond in the rough? I'll wait.
Yeah.
It's Fred
Debo?
Warner. It's Fred Warner. Debo Samuel was a 2.
Right.
He was
but
a
that's
second
what I'm
round
saying.
pick.
You can find guys like that in the second round.
Not when you don't have first rounders.
Okay.
It just doesn't work that way.
You already have a division where you're behind the 8 ball. I mean.
Oh, I'll go one step further. Deshaun Watson does not make the San Francisco 49ers the best team in that division. Period.
I mean, he makes them closer.
Closer, whoop-de-damn-do. I'd still take Seattle over them. I'd still take the Rams over them. And long term, I'd take the Cardinals because guess what? The 49ers are going to be in cap hell in about 1 year from right now.
I'd disagree that I'd take them over Seattle. I think that offense could be incredible. with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, Fred Warner is the only guy he has drafted that was not in the first 2 rounds that I look at and go, that's really elite.
Okay. Well, you have a team in your division that is going all in and living by the rule of no first-round draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see,
And the Rams are ahead of the curve on this. Mm-hmm. If you're going to be picking in the mid to late 20s, those picks are not as valuable as what the Jets have or these teams that are routinely bad.
I think that's kind of my point, is you're guaranteeing yourself you're not going to be giving up early to mid first-round draft picks.
No.
Because with Deshaun Watson, this San Francisco team would be, in the playoffs, probably going around or 2.
With Deshaun Watson?
Yeah. If not going farther than that. They're always going to be picking 25 to 32.
My problem is when you're paying a quarterback that level of money, and you're a team that has a lot of high-priced guys. I mean, you got to think San Francisco's already losing Richard Sherman. He's out the door.
Yep.
And they're going to start losing other guys.
It could be a Cowboy, which is hilarious.
Richard Sherman's going to be a Jet.
I'm down.
And I think he's coming with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Jets have a lot of money. This is one of those times where I'm just looking at it going, my God.
Now Jeremy's getting all tingly.
Oh, I am. Here's the thing. If you don't have a top 5 pick, you're not in on Deshaun Watson. Period. Period. This Matt Stafford thing really, it told the tale. All right, so really think about what they got. And they had to take an albatross. So you got two picks that are in the late 20s. Okay, cool. What you going to add to that? Gonna get you a lineman, maybe a little wide receiver for a quarterback that immediately made the LA Rams a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah,
I'm with Mike Whiteside. If somehow the Texans go, we want the second pick, but we don't want Darnold. Darnold, the next call should be from the San Francisco 49ers. Because now that's a place I think he would be tremendous. And I've said that the whole time. Problem is, I don't see a path where the Texans go, yes, we trade Deshaun Watson, and we're going to roll the dice on one of these quarterbacks. Because I don't see how it could go way too famously badly.
yeah.
You bet on Justin Fields or Zach Smith, or it wouldn't be Trey Lance, but I'll throw the name out there because he's the other one in that tier. You bet on that and you're wrong, you're fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would rather bet on the known quantity, whether it's Tua or Darnold, knowing what their warts are, than going in going, Zach Wilson could be Achilles Smith. I see some Achilles in him. Justin Fields could be worse than that. And you take that pick, and they're always tied together, and you'll always compare them to each other, and it's a bad idea.
I think that
I maintain, and I said this from the jump. It's the Jets and the Dolphins.
Yeah.
It's the only 2 teams that have the ammo to do what Houston wants to do.
Yeah. And you still think that the price is what? 2 1s?
I think it's the top 3 pick this year, the young quarterback, and another one. If the Jets insist on it being Seattle's picks as opposed to their own, then it might be both Seattle picks. I doubt that. From what I have been told, the Jets are not coming off 3 1s and Sam Darnold on the same trade because they see that as 4 1s.
Right.
And one of them's in the top 5, so they're seeing as 5 1s. And they're not doing that.
Right. I don't think it's going to get as crazy as some have said it could be. There's been all this hype since last week of, this could be the biggest trade we've ever seen in the NFL.
It's not.
Now,
It's not.
Value-wise?
No, because we've seen how this goes. I give you 100 examples of this. All right, we just had the first number 1 for number 1. 2 former number 1 picks traded for each other. We had a number 1 pick traded for a number 1 pick one time before. You know who it was?
No.
It's O.J. Simpson. He was traded to the 49ers. The pick that they got became 1 the next year. Looking back on that, it didn't go well. Herschel Walker didn't go well. Look at every time a player has been traded for copious amounts of draft pick compensation. Didn't go well.
Ricky Williams
Didn't go well.
Yeah.
And that was for a damn draft pick. He was a rookie. Didn't matter.
That was all the draft picks.
Yeah. The Saints went, all right, we're done.
Yeah.
We're good.
Chips are all in. We only need 1 player this year.
And then Mike Ditka put on that ridiculous dreadlock wig and went, yeah, this will age well. And now he does Zoloft commercials, and you can read into that what you will.
I mean, over the weekend, I've been looking at all these, proposed trades and stuff. What are the package that could get for Deshaun Watson?
They're hilarious.
Oh, they're funny. Like one of them I saw, I'm looking at right now on Fansided, is the Jets give up Sam Darnold, 3 first-round draft picks, a 2 this year, and a 3 next year.
Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
Here's the package I've heard the Texans want. It's 2 1s, 2 2s, and 2 defensive starters. 2 young defensive starters.
No.
Not gonna happen.
No.
It's not gonna happen.
No, because I heard.
But I mean, I will tell you, the Jets have that.
Oh yeah.
It's not gonna be Quentin Williams, so stop that shit.
I was gonna say that's the name that keeps being thrown around. Like, they can throw
no.
Quentin Williams in this deal. No, they won't. They will not.
Yeah, unless J.J. Watt's coming back, that's not happening. Which he might.
So if it wasn't Quentin Williams, who would be the guy? Who would be
From
the
the
defensive
Jets?
players that you'd throw in there?
Oh, I mean,
Poole and
you're getting Poole's free agent.
okay.
You're getting into one of those young corners because the Jets have several young corners that, depending on your scheme, you could really like. Ashton Davis was a safety that we took in the first 3 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Blake Cashman is a linebacker that some teams really like. There's a couple defensive linemen. But, I mean, that's the level of defensive star. You're not getting Nick Bosa and Fred Warner.
Right.
Which I heard and laughed until I almost peed in my pants.
Nick Bosa and Fred Warner.
Yeah, like, they'll give up 2 1s, 2 2s, and their best 2 defensive players.
No, they won't.
I'll take your answer off there. Thanks, Paul.
If that's the case, I'll give you Jimmy Garoppolo and 4 1s.
And those 4 1s still don't equate to what that 2 does. And the Jets and the Dolphins know that. I'm not spewing this out of my ass. I've heard this from people that know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets and the Dolphins are looking at Houston going, you can have immediate gratification with us, or you can roll the dice that you're going to trade a Pro Bowl quarterback to one of these teams and they're not going to suck.
Mm-hmm.
Or that they are going to suck, because you would need them to suck, and they're not going to.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. It's quantity over quality.
Yep.
They would have to convince themselves that they can make, a longer rebuild with lower draft picks. It's kind of hard to sell a team on that, especially when they're in the position that they're in. I mean, hell, at this point, the Houston Texans are saying, we're not interested. We have 0 interest in trading Deshaun Watson.
Well,
I'm pretty
cool.
sure you do. But you know who doesn't have 0 interest in leaving your town? Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, and did you hear what J.J. Watt said on Good Morning Football?
No, what'd he say?
I think it was this morning, actually. They asked him how he felt about the report that the NFL Network just came out with that there would be a divorce with him and the Texans. He said, yeah, my way of dealing with that was going to Hawaii. Maybe I should have stayed there.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So he'll just quit.
He's out.
Yeah.
He's out. There's no doubt J.J. Watt's name, and if you remember, I said that 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
This whole Houston Texans thing is comical to me because I called it literally like I'd looked into a crystal ball. And I like taking victory laps. It's my thing.
Once he came out and kind of pretty much berated everybody, it was pretty much known he was gone.
I said this before Deshaun Watson ever said a word. Mm-hmm. I looked at this team and went, this is a fucking train wreck. Mm-hmm. You just signed a quarterback to a gigantic deal. You traded his best weapon out of town. His new number 1 is hurt constantly. The other arguably number 1, Brandon Cooks, has been on 3 teams in 4 years. Mm-hmm. And you got Randall Cobb and David Johnson. That's fun. If we were playing Madden, that'd be great. Unfortunately, we're not. And Deshaun Watson looks around and goes, I can't win with this. Mm-hmm. And I'm tired of this Patriot way with Bill O'Brien. And then, what do you think pissed him off so bad? I mean, honestly, we made a big deal about, he doesn't want to play for... By the way, the fact that I haven't had the opportunity to talk about David Culley. Holy shit.
Give it to us.
That's fun. I do love the hate the Texans have gotten. You do realize nobody else wanted this job, right? Like, you have to hire somebody. Mm-hmm. You were the first team with an opening and the last one to sign a coach. Why do you think that is? Because the league looks at you as a laughingstock, which is what you are. So you keep hammering them. Who did you want them to hire? Eric Bieniemy was not taking this job. Mm-hmm. He wasn't. It came out, Andy Reid told him not to. I hope he doesn't take the Texans job because it's an albatross.
Yeah.
So, Deshaun Watson wanted Eric Bieniemy. Yeah, and I would like to drive a nicer sports car and have a goober that's as big as my forearm. But I won't, and I shan't.
Speaking of your goober,
I don't like where this is headed.
Please don't ever post bath pictures again.
Oh, yeah, that was
Don't
great.
take pictures of yourself.
Oh,
in the
that was
bathtub.
fantastic.
That's-
I laughed at that. I was, secret time, I was real drunk when I took that.
No, seriously?
Hey, you know what's funny? The comment I got most often was the beer's on the wrong side. And I went, well, you don't want the camera to face back this way. So.
My favorite part was Amy sitting next to the lady.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sitting right next to him laughing my ass off.
I'm not going to lie. Amy was the one that went, yeah, that'll be funny.
I'm sure she
Most
was.
of the horrible things that I do, my wife is sitting there going, do it.
Just
Patrick Holt.
Patrick Holt, comment of the day, Patrick Holt. Congratulations.
No. You have to know the whole story behind that. There's a story there that is like fantastic. You go back to the post. He posted.
Oh, I know. That's why I was saying that.
Oh, okay. I didn't
saw
know that you would see that.
Oh, I saw that. That was one of the when you called it a goober. I went. I remember that comment. And that was the winner of the day.
I remember.
Yeah, don't do that anymore.
Yeah,
No
Vacation
more.
Jeremy's a lot of.
No more bath
Vacation
pictures.
Jeremy's a little bit more footloose and fancy free than having to come to work every day and deal with it snowing.
You do have very silky, smooth-looking girly legs, though.
Yeah.
With the little tiny ankles, it was like, how does that support, that?
Well, I mean, here's the thing: my blood pressure doesn't look like my credit score, so I don't have that ankle issue that you do. I knew he was going to say it. I knew it. I knew as soon as he brought this up, he was going to say it.
Uh-huh.
I have. I take care of. Some people commented on how pretty my toes were and things like that.
Yeah.
I take care of myself. This is how I have a gorgeous wife, because I take very good care of myself. And by the way, I'm naturally blonde. You want to know why?
We don't
my leg
need
was
to know where this is going.
the beard's a dye job.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So the carpet doesn't match your pubes.
That's
Okay.
not quite how that works.
I know.
I think you fucked that one up.
That's movie quote.
I never seen the movie.
Yeah, I know. You've never seen any movie ever.
Nope.
I don't think.
No.
Oh, God. 6 more days to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And hey, did everybody enjoy the Pro Bowl yesterday?
Hey, who watched that? It was fun.
No one. I don't know a single soul. If
I
you
didn't
watched
watch
a
a
second
second.
of it, throw it in the comments. We want to know. Was it as entertaining?
I just want
as you
proof
thought
positive
it would
that
be?
it actually happened.
Yeah,
because
I mean,
To watch 4 people play Madden for 30 minutes. Because that's the thing. Like last night, I had all intentions of at least checking it out for a minute, and so I turned it on at like 8:15 or something, and it was it was on the I think it was on the replay on ESPN2 or something, and it was just Keyshawn Johnson sitting down and talking to 4 guys for the first 30 minutes, and then when I saw no video game playing, I was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I got nothing left for you. I mean, it was fun to hear guys talk about their season highlights and who they liked, who impressed them the most, and guys shouting out, Xavier Howard and Tyreek Hill and shit like that. That was fun, but I saw no actual play. The only actual sports I actually did watch last night was the X Games. I can't not watch the X Games. It gets
we still do that.
we still do that.
I didn't know that.
We still do that, and last night was absolutely fantastic.
Hey, let me guess. Dudes with long hair on skateboards doing stuff.
Snowboards. It's X Games. It's the
It's the same
winter
shit. One has
winter
wheels,
X
one
Games.
has snow. Who gives a shit?
It was a lot of fun.
I want to watch people like you. You want to get me to watch the X Games? Put him on skis. I'll watch that with a cold beer in my hand.
Yeah, I think I would be.
Maybe while
guys
I
like
take
me
my
would be
bath.
lucky to do a 180 rather than an 1800.
The only 1800 I do is followed by gold, so I wouldn't know.
Followed by gold. What does that mean?
1800's a tequila.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, no, didn't know that. Didn't know that at all. Thanks.
You
man.
didn't know 1800 was tequila?
never.
You do
Never had it.
realize we're sponsored by a brewery, right?
Yeah. They don't make 1800 tequila. If they did,
Yeah, but
I know about it.
I would think that your knowledge of alcohol would be a little bit. I'm not saying it should be like mine.
Well, I don't drink tequila, so that's, you know.
I've
heard
I
bad
don't
things
either.
happen. I've heard.
I drink
Okay.
beer and Fireball.
Let me
That's
put it. Let me put it this way: no one in my house drinks tequila,
Yeah.
and I know that's not the case for you.
No. And if I've learned
Because
anything
Miss
on
Amy
vacation,
gets fun when the tequila starts flowing.
yeah, I will. I would put my wife in a drinking contest with anybody watching this show right now, and I will laugh at you aggressively when she.
Yeah, we're doing. I like Alex Sander. We're doing celebrity boxing. Why don't we do celebrity X Games?
Yeah,
We'll see just how
Yeah.
many bones can be broken in a
And
weekend.
Tom Segura. I want Tom.
He's
Tom
already
Segura.
broken.
Tom Segura broke the hardest bone in your body to break. And would you like to know what athletic event led to that? A layup. He wasn't even trying to dunk.
Right.
He lost his balance and broke the strongest bone in your body.
Bent the damn thing backwards.
And you're talking about my puny ankles. I would be very good at celebrity X Games shit. I mean, minus the fact I've smoked 2 packs of heaters a day for a real long time. So anything that involves me working up a good lather might also send me to the hospital.
You know, we've already got the wrestling challenge that's already planted in my brain.
By the way, congratulations to Edge winning the Royal Rumble last night.
Going to WrestleMania, baby.
You know where he needs to go before WrestleMania? Here, to
This
spear
show.
me through this table.
I think you know me.
We need this table. We don't.
Okay, don't spear me
That-
through this.
that-
You know
there's
what?
another one
Spear
over
me through
there.
that table we were planning on putting me through if the Bills had gotten to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, there you go.
Because that table's just sitting back there collecting dust.
There you go.
Sorry, Dennis Sora. I had to. I took 0 shots at the Bills. I gave it a week. I went on vacation. I had some spiritual enlightenment,
Right.
and I had to make that joke.
Yep. Yeah, it's good to see Edge back on top in the WWE.
I think you know me.
He's a guy. He's a guy that I thought it took way too long. Took way too long off and way too early. He had to cut out because of the back injuries, and I'm glad to see he was able to.
Broken knackers.
We need to
Oh,
get.
yeah.
We
I
need
mean,
him on the afternoon show today. He does live here, and you do know him.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not sure what his schedule is going to be like with
Well,
him
he's got
still
Monday Night
on the
Raw.
road. It's usually when he's kicking around town is when he's really available. Ever since he's got back into the game, he's been harder to track down, but we can give it a shot. So yeah, congratulations to Edge. Oh, by the way, I watched a new documentary last night. You Cannot Kill David Arquette. The wrestling documentary. 46-year-old David Arquette tries to make a comeback in wrestling because everybody's mean to him because he destroyed the business.
What? I didn't know any of this.
You don't remember me talking about that? I think I had it on the Weird News a few months back that they were putting together this documentary of David Arquette. So David Arquette
Yeah.
joined WCW. He did
Yeah,
the
I know the whole backstory.
Yeah, so he does the Ready to Rumble movie. They end up making him the fucking champion because Vince Russo is a friggin' idiot.
Moron.
They end up making him the WCW
knew
champion,
that.
and ever since then, everybody has been like, David Arquette ruined it for everybody. Because it was when they made him the champion that the veil was lifted and the mystique was taken off of, wrestling's rigged and all that. And he really is a guy who he's an addict. So he really yearns for people's acceptance. And he decided that he didn't want to be the guy who broke wrestling anymore. He wanted to prove that he could actually be a wrestler. And so this whole documentary is about him trying to get back into the wrestling game. And then he goes to like these backyard wrestling event, or he went to one backyard wrestling event where it looked like they were going to murder him.
So this thing's called You Can't Kill David Arquette.
Cannot kill David Arquette.
Does he at any point party with Gary Busey, Nick Nolte, Charlie Sheen, or myself?
No.
Then fuck him. Until you've done one of those 4 things, you'll never know if you could be killed. I had somebody I don't know call me the devil himself while we were on vacation.
Nice.
That happened. That's a thing that happened. My wife can verify.
And I feel like we need some backstory on this.
Yeah, it was somebody that decided they wanted to consume beverages with us.
Aha.
And they felt like when we ordered one, they should. And I was called the devil incarnate.
Nice.
So it follows you.
What can I say?
Jeremy Greene giving people alcohol poisoning all over the Southeast.
I think he tapped out before that could have happened.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my wife and I went for 2 more hours on top of that.
I'm pretty hard in the paint.
Yeah. Yes.
Good.
Well, I'm glad you're all rested up because we got a big week ahead of us.
Yes.
It is Super Bowl week, and we'll have all of the storylines heading up to the big game just 6 days away. Fire them cannons! He put it on the screen, so I had to, you know.
Who gave you buttons?
You're teaching me too much.
I didn't teach you shit. You figured that. Damn YouTube.
That's right. You say I'm the technologically stupid one. See, I can do things. Stop it. This afternoon, we'll be with you at 3 o'clock on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene.
Yeah.
Be sure to like, share, and follow the Sportsocracy on all of the social medias. And 6 more days. We'll see you this afternoon.